And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God.
Making the transition from the ranks of the employed to the unemployed can be both emotionally and spiritually stressful. Dealing with the uncertainty of where the money will come from to pay the mortgage and the power bill creates an indescribable anxiety for most people. Satan will most certainly take advantage of you when this happens without question. As a Christian, God has provided you with a complete arsenal of tools to survive unemployment, and you don't have to walk this lonely road alone. With God's help, you can overcome the unfair branding of being called unemployed while maintaining the right frame of mind and spiritual attitude. In addition, God will give you the strength and focus to apply for unemployment benefits, survive while being unemployed, and find a new job. This guide can also help the employed prepare in advance for an unexpected change in employment status, so you may want to bookmark this video for further reference. With an unemployment rate that has been holding steady around 9% and growing, preparing in advance for the unexpected in the event you lose your job could bridge the gap between despair and survival. Here are some very easy things you can do when unemployment has placed its crosshairs on you. As soon as unemployment strikes, as a family, do not hesitate to immediately stop and pray. If you fail to do this, the enemy will overcome you with doubt and fear, and your faith will falter. Now, your next step is preparing your unemployment to-do list. If you are still employed, now is the time to utilize this material to compile yourself a contingency plan. Review your spending habits and current financial situation. Did you know you can live on half of your income? You can take practical steps right now to reduce living expenses. In a time such as this, luxuries will need to be placed on a back burner. To illustrate, very nice clothing can be purchased at the Goodwill. Don't be surprised to encounter people you know who shop regularly at such stores. An emergency fund of at least $2,500 would now come in handy. If you don't have one, start one. Now is the time to take advantage of your employee unemployment benefits if they exist. In most cases, this information can be found in your employer's annual summary plan descriptions. Check into any COBRA benefits that you are eligible for and research unemployment compensation. Prepare a list of possible job contacts at this time. And don't forget about the Employment Security Commission in your area and any online job banks. If these resources fail, it's time to do some cold calling and knocking on doors. Losing a job can certainly hurt your pocketbook, but it can also damage your status and job security. You now feel powerless. Your world has been turned upside down, and your future is uncertain. Your mind is haunted by visions of homelessness, by losing your home, and even bankruptcy. But there is hope. The timeless wisdom of the Scriptures will fill your heart with a hope that you will find nowhere else. Also, by having a plan of action, you are applying biblical wisdom principles that will further keep you from despair. Do not fail to keep an open line of communication to God at this time. Remember, God always has time to listen. God is forever trustworthy and always has time to hear you out. Pour your heart out to Him with every fear and anxiety that you're experiencing. In time, the humiliation and shame you feel because of your unemployment can be replaced by God's peace. Talk to your family, as God can use this time for you and your loved ones to bond and spend some quality rap time together. Avoid the tendency of pulling apart and blaming and hurling accusations. This never helps and can cause dissension. Many people lose work for varied reasons. For individuals who may seem to have recurring employment issues, now would be the time to seek out some Christian counseling. it does help if the individual is willing to listen. Keeping open communications between God and yourself, as well as you and your family, is critically important in maintaining your sanity and sense of self-worth. As a taxpayer, you have earned the right to apply for unemployment compensation. Give the folks at your local Employment Security Commission a phone call and inquire about your eligibility. The average time you are able to collect unemployment is generally 26 weeks. However, during economic downturns, the limit may be extended up to 52 weeks. Moreover, I will go so far as to say that this is the responsible thing to do when you and your family are in need during this difficult time. Make sure that you have all the required documentation, such as employment dates and addresses of former employers, and have this information at your fingertips when you file. If you don't have this information with you when you apply, you will be asked to go home and retrieve it. Now, once you have been approved, to continue to receive your unemployment benefits, you will be required to file a claim either weekly or biweekly and report any additional income you may have earned. You will be also required to look for work, and you may be asked to keep a record to prove that you have been seeking employment. In addition, applying for food stamps is another earned right, and now is not the time to ensnare yourself in feeling proud. You can apply for food stamps at your local Office of Social Services. The transition period from jobless to reemployment provides opportunity to thoroughly to evaluate the strategies you use to make your life work, and to shift reliance from yourself to dependence upon God. Learning to survive during periods of unemployment is necessary to give you purpose and to bring your God-given purpose and values and life goals into focus. Consider these countermeasures to help you thrive during unemployment. The Scriptures tell us to use our time wisely. Time management is especially important during your unemployment period. While unemployed, now is the time to manage your finances with great care. Financial hardship created by unemployment can be managed more effectively if you revise your household budget to meet your family's immediate needs while temporarily depriving yourself of any unnecessary wants. We have seen an unprecedented amount of mortgage foreclosures recently. Always remember that foreclosure can often be averted by initiating bankruptcy proceedings. This is usually considered a last resort. However, losing property is a very serious loss indeed by comparison. Sometimes desperate measures are called for to avoid such tragic losses. During unemployment, you owe it to yourself to make informed decisions. You should take great caution to prevent yourself from making impulsive, emotional decisions without taking time to consider the consequences of such actions. Remember, wants must take a back seat at this time. If Christmas is approaching, there are plenty of stocking stuffer deals that get you through the holiday season, including church-sponsored thrift stores, yard sales, and check out the site called freecycle.org. In closing, unemployment is not a desirable position to be in by any means. As Christians, it is very desirable for us to diligently avoid any dependency upon the state. However, you have rightfully earned any benefits available to you from the state. Yet, conversely, it is this writer's conviction that unemployment is by design to foment dependency upon the state. As debt grows, we become more dependent upon banking. When this happens, more worthless money is printed as a countermeasure, and hence inflation increases, thereby increasing prices and lowering the general value of goods. Now, this only makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. Now, this method is known as reserve fractional banking and has an effect of decreasing the middle classes and is often the precursor of socialism. As Americans, yet furthermore citizens of the world, we need to encourage the practice of bartering and free trade amongst ourselves, notwithstanding the printing of non-Federal Reserve-backed currency. This would have an effect of lowering the prices of goods, national debt, and personal debt, and hence lower inflation, thereby diminishing the need to print more worthless paper money. Unemployment would not be allowed to foment out of control as more businesses could remain solvent and in the black, and we can return to the original transcripts of government outlined by our forefathers. It indeed can be considered a part of our spiritual warfare. Concluding, therefore, we should labor and pray to this end.